Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Yasir speaking, and today we're going to learn about our objectives is basically how to open an existing database. At the same time, we're going to learn about the data types, and we also going to learn about some of the field properties. So let's discuss some of the things that I will proceed before. I just wanted to let you know here. If you can see in this slide, you will find data types. There's a one field, the other one is a data type. If you can see, it's always important what is our field. The field is whatever we have written over here. Suppose I have written name in the field option, it means that this field is going to clarify what kind of data we're going to input in the Microsoft Access. So it's important for us, whatever in the field that should be a relevant data should be input at the same time. Now look at this in the name field. Now the identification of whatever you have input, that should be clarified. I mean, like while you designing the database, you're going to you will be going to give a proper field options, like you have given the field name and you have settled down the data type is alphabets or text. Now there should be definitely your name is a text. So here another field, it's a contact. It's a contact number. You have input the contact number, that field you have given it, that would be a number. The data type is number. Again, we have another type of input, which is a field category address. In the address you have written some, here it is, you have the merge of alphabets and the numeric. So the combination of alphabets and numeric are there. So you can see there's a three type of data types you have seen in there. One is alphabets, the other one is the numeric, the third one is alphanumeric. So we have three types of data types here we can see. So in Microsoft Access you will find a different kind of data types while you have entered whatever the data you're going to. In that case, if you can see, the database designer can only work on that part. I mean, like you're going to give a field along with that data type. This part is only a user input area. I mean, like that can be any user, whoever is a computer operator who just need to input the data. That has to be done by the any input, any operator. Now, by considering those things, the data types, we have the sum of the data types in Microsoft Access. Here it is a list of the short text, that is a text. I mean, like that, consider up to 255 characters as a good number of characters which you can input in there. The long text, large amount of alphabet data, sentences or paragraph can be entered. You can see there's a minus 64,000 character and a plus 65,000 characters you can input in there. Numbers, in the number area you can set the numbers and then you can select the integer, long, double, whatever that the character letters, numbers that you're going to input in there, you're going to set out accordingly. Date time, you're going to give a date time. Currency, suppose any particular currency. Auto number, definitely you wanted to in the database the record consider the sequence of a number by itself. You will not going to assign any particular number. It will take by itself. Yes and no field is a compulsory field. If you think that is a very important, without filling that, the data will not move. It means that this field is a compulsory field. So it will not move until unless you're not going to fill it out. OLE object, it's an object linking embedding. I mean, like any picture, photograph you wanted to activate controls you wanted to add in there, hyperlinks you wanted to create it, attachments, pictures or something, other files you wanted to attach it. Calculation, if you want to perform something, lookup wizard will give you a combo box, a drop down menu to select any particular field. We will apply all these data types in a certain data types, that database that we have created yesterday. Today we're going to see at the same time how we're going to do that. Now, while you enter, you will find over here this option. While you creating a database, you will find this all data types over here. You select accordingly whatever you wanted to give it. Okay. At the same time, you going to give a field properties. There's a number of fields available there. And now while you created your data types, you have to select your field properties. I mean, like, how are we going to apply? I will show you. There's a details in there. I will be forwarding you that kind of all details are there in this particular field properties. Now let's go to apply, do some practical work. Here we have some practical work. Now go to Access. Here it is. Microsoft Access is there. Open it. Open existing one. Existing, here you have a recent file that you have, otherwise you have somewhere else, you have a number of files, you can't find it, go to the computer option, click over there, you will browse option and you will pick it. I have selected the test one database. There's you can see number of there's a one table in the object area. Click over here, you will find the fields. Now go to the design option, you will find there's a number of things. Like we have given that number is a long integer, data type is long integer. If you think the number is a short number, then that is fine, long integer, it is okay. But if you have a long, huge number of long digits, so you can select, look, this is a student contact, I have selected the double, because you can increase the number of you're going to input in that option, maybe it's going to increase it. So you can select over here. Similarly, date of birth. I mean, like now, if you have selected a date of birth, suppose that format is date, month, y. So that is the format that will be considered in that option. I mean, like if you're going to select this way, this will be taken in this way. You click over here, you will find some certain options. You must save table first. Yes, okay, go on. Okay, now here you have the input mask, that how, now which way you wanted to enter the data. I mean, like that would be considered like this or whatever the format you wanted to do it. Suppose I have selected this one, next, and the next, finish. So input mask, it means that whatever the format you're going to give it, that will be taken as the exactly the format will be followed in while you enter the data. Here we go, we're going to save it and go to that field. Suppose I have another record 1002, its name is Kamran Ali, and their date of birth is 1/6 in 2008, suppose. There it is. I mean, like it's been taken. That's exactly format, the one which we have date, month, and the year, and 4 Ys. And here you can enter any number. So that's the record has been entered. Go to the design mode again. So I hope that you format an input mask. Caption is basically option if you wanted to give, that's DOB, maybe it's not that clear, but you wanted to give a caption, for example, enter date of birth. There you go, let's save. So while you see, there's a caption that I have written as enter date of birth. So it means that's a huge number. If you wanted to create, you can give a short option in there. So you can DOB if you're going to select, that is also okay. Yes, now you can see that's a DOB only, date of birth. So clear. So caption is basically the field properties that you're going to change the name of that field. So it's going to make the name of that. Similarly, if you're going to go there, now we have the default value. I mean, like there's a one more field. I'm going to select a student city or nationality. Suppose that's student nationality. If I'm going to give that student nationality in the default value, if I'm going to write down Pakistani, that will be written by itself. I'm like, there's no need to do it again and again. You're going to write it again and again. It will be automatically written over here. Look, because we have not entered that field before, that is why it's showing over here. You can input as well. But in the next record, all will be added by itself. You can see that as I move to the next record, it has been automatically created another record and moved on. So you can enter a record over here. Suppose I have written a record and now you can enter look at that, this record has been added. Now go to the design mode again and now come to the validation rule. Now validation rule is basically that you are restricting something. Like for example, I'm going to student class, I'm going to give the field name student class, right, or grade, whatever the field name is. I'm going to restrict that as a number. I'm like, in the validation part, in the validation field, validation rule, or in the validation rule, I'm going to do that some certain things or certain rules to be applied. I'm like, maybe by mistake in a student class, anybody can enter the class number 11, but in a school we don't have any class 11. We wanted to restrict a user that it has to be input between 1 to 10. So it means that it should be greater than 1 and less than 10, less than equals to 10. So that makes logic. Greater than 0 or greater than equals to 1, and then that makes sense. Now let's go to see how it works. There you go. Now we have entered one field over here, student class. Now suppose I wanted to enter over here a 0. Look at that, it's not going to take it. Again, if I'm going to enter over here 11, again it's not going to take it, because we have restricted the user to input only between 1 to 10. Like I'm going to input, suppose grade 5. There it is, it's been taken. Again I'm going to input a 9 over here, that's been taken. If I'm going to input over here 10, it has been taken. So it means that a validation rule is basically restricting whatever a particular data to be entered in that part. It means that it has to be worked accordingly. Similarly, we'll go to the design mode again. Okay, and we have validation text. If you wanted to give that some sort of a text, enter grade between, please enter, let me make it more formal, please enter grade between 1 to 10. This is a message. Now this field is important. If you think that certain field is a very important, without that it's not going to move, so you can make it that field. I have selected that as a student name, it's important for me. I'm going to give this field as a required field. No means that field, without that field filling you cannot move somewhere. So I'm going to make it that is important field. You cannot move without entering that data. Student name, there you go, that's important. So now let's suppose I'm going to save it, I'm going to go now, yes, a certain. Now suppose if I wanted to give that another record, 1004. Now without entering, I'm going to move, and I am going to move and enter and Pakistani student class is 5. Now look at this. At the end of record that you must enter a value in the student master student name in the field. You cannot leave without that field. It becomes a compulsory now. So you need to enter some data in there before moving to there. So now I'm going to give that name, Jamil Ahmed. Now here you go. So it means that this record been taken. Now let it be. Put that part as well. Sorry about this error. So I think that is very clear. Now go to design mode again. Now we can see there's a few other fields that we're going to describe it later. At the moment we're going to stop over here. Inshallah we'll continue our next class to the rest of description in that class will be there. Thank you.